TCK. Well, happy Thursday, folks, and welcome back to another installment of Kai Plays. This week we've got some Witcher 2, kicking off with episode 4, if my count is correct at this point. If you're new to this segment, this is a solo segment that I do outside of Final Fantasy XIV, just whatever game I happen to be working on that fits with an episodic format. I do non-episodic format in the form of Kai Plays Unplugged here and there, and of course we have our Sunday Fun Day that we do from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Sunday. Now, we are back in the on-season here, and for all of November, we're supporting NARF, N-A-R-F. That's the Native American Rights Fund. By request of our knights, they've actually wanted to support Indigenous peoples for the month of November, so we are doing that. If you're following along with me tonight, welcome. Pull up a chair, grab a glass of whatever it is you'd like to drink, and we'll dive into it in a moment. If you're watching after the fact on YouTube, know that we love you anyway, and consider a like or a notification. Subscribe. And in both cases, either below the live stream or in the doobly-doo, you can find information about our nonprofit via Tiltify. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, where last we left off, we'd made it to Tutorial Island, if you will. We'd gotten out of the initial part of the story that was kind of on rails, and we have our first opportunity to do a little bit of free roam. But looks can be deceiving. The game
I told you to leave me alone.
Is a little bit more limiting than The Witcher 3, unfortunately, but there's still quite a bit of roam that we can do. There's quests that we can pick up. So we're just gonna hop into that. I don't remember a lot about the area. I do remember the Nekker contract. I remember dying a few times here and there. Spoilers, our first major boss battle took me many attempts to get through. I'm not amazing at this game, but should be good fun nonetheless. So we want to head east because that way leads into the forest. And that's where all the danger is. I believe we're heading east. Actually, I think we're heading south right now. That way is west, and this way is east. Let's double check here. Yes, indeed. So we'll head east, and then I guess we'll start by heading north. By my recollection, we have a contract for some Nekkers. We have a contract for a troll, which we may or may not fulfill, because those who are familiar with the franchise will know that trolls are not necessarily all that bad. It's a case-by-case basis, much like people. They're a bit too sentient for my liking to be considered just monsters to be slain. See, we got a little graveyard out here. Wolfsbane. Dracula beware. Celadine. Oh, doesn't this look welcoming? Can we hop up there? We sure can. It's not always clear where the environment's going to let you interact with it. You kind of got to poke everything with this stick just a little bit. Alright. So we've explored north. Sprint button would not be amiss. Are you Scoia'tael and therefore hostile? Yep, pretty sure. Oh no, the bandits.
Come to Papa!
Ouch. Ah, yes.
Wanna dance, white Teddy? dance, white teddy? Come to Papa! Wanna dance, white teddy?
Well, it lacked a certain finesse, but we got there in the end. Also, welcome to the chat, Punchcat. Yes, this is The Witcher 2. We are in episode 4, which leaves us still in chapter 1, I'm afraid, just outside of Tutorial Island. Dear. I won't lie, I've played this game in its entirety once, and I still never really learned how to properly riposte. The tutorial just never made much sense to me. Just sort of blunder my way through it. Some horns. Oh, here's Triss.
I wonder what's left of that wreck Cedric mentioned.
If the Kayran attacked the boat, it's not likely to be much. We're looking for traces of the beast, not boats.
Save now or risk doing it again later. That's definitely the boss arena. I think you don't fight the boss right away, but if we do, we're gonna have to reload because we are not prepared.
See those footprints?
Yeah, strange place for an evening walk.
Unless you're looking for adventure.
Adventure's a way to put it, for sure. Forest near Flotsam.
Medallion's vibrating.
Drowners. Silver for monsters. there's no sprint. I keep trying to press the sprint button, it doesn't exist.
Nice to run into some old friends.
Almost brings a tear to your eye.
Let's examine the traces of the Kayran and get out of here.
We got some drowner brains. Hard to tell what you're looking for when everything's kind of yellow. Okay, we examined the boat wreck. The monster's lair, Geralt spotted the wreck of a large riverboat. Within its shattered hull lay a corpse which, as it turned out, was that of the boat's captain. On the corpse, Geralt found a key. Picking up, he instinctively looked around for the lock it might open. Ah, there it was. Find the chest used by the Royal Mail. I don't think we got anything that was really worthwhile there. Or worth noting, I guess I should say. The Kayran. One of these must surely pertain to what we're doing here.
A ram stuffed with sulfur and a dead cobbler. Straight out of Eastern legends. Not good enough for the Kayran, though.
I guess this is the part where we wander around and examine everything. Oh, what have we here?
Wait a minute.
What are you going to do?
Cast a simple diagnostic spell. It should answer a few questions. This monster's sick, Geralt. It's dying.
How much time does it have left?
A few years? Perhaps a decade and change?
Too long. What's wrong with it? Any information could be useful.
The diagnostic spell showed that some of the cells in its body have mutated.
What makes you think it's dying? I mean, I'm a mutant.
The mucus cells I diagnosed are very similar to cancer cells. In some ways, they're more effective than healthy cells, but they're out of control. They converge to create a red tissue. Very unpleasant.
The poor thing.
But you brought up an interesting point. Want to know the core difference between mutants and non-mutants?
Of course I do.
The changes made through alchemy and magic in your body would require thousands of years to develop on their own. This development would result from genetic errors that would cause your body to adapt, become a more efficient organism, effectively mutate, but over a very long time. When this development occurs over millennia, across multiple generations, we proudly call it natural selection, evolution. When it occurs quickly, in a single organism or a few representatives of a species, we frown on it as mutation.
And here I thought you liked me. What else?
The Kayran's highly venomous.
Any ideas for an antidote?
Your Witcher's metabolism should neutralize small doses of the toxin. But if I were you, I wouldn't rely on my mutations alone. An Ostmark potion should do the trick.
I know the herb, but haven't the faintest where I might find it around here. I need to think, figure out how I want to fight the Kayran. Maybe I won't need the potion.
Do what you will, but don't say I didn't warn you. Sheila might be eager to get this done, but before you go see her, ask some of the locals about Ostmark. You could try Cedric. Here's the formula for the potion. I need to take care of some things. Manage without me for a while?
Mm-hmm.
See you.
All right. Now we climb on out of this hole. Yeah, so it's a slower pace than the game which follows in The Witcher 3, but The Witcher 2 really kind of leans in the know your enemy side of things, which I very much appreciate. It's got this a more investigative feel, I think, than the game that follows. Combat flows better, and it's prettier in The Witcher 3, and there's a lot more content, and I appreciate all of those things. But sometimes it's, you know, your investigation is basically just exhaust all of the dialogue options, and Geralt just kind of solves it for himself while you listen. Whereas The Witcher 2 is just like, hey, here's your problem, go solve it. How do you do that? Don't ask us, you're the Witcher. Big broken bridge. Alright, let's see here. I want to have a look at the map. So now we know that up to the north is presumably the Kayran's lair. So we want to start looking around south. I don't remember how time passes in this game. I know that it will be night at some point, but I don't remember if it advances automatically or if you need to go like to the inn and wait until nightfall. I believe it advances automatically because I know you can meditate to pass some time. Give me your things. What do Witchers call a potion made out of Ostmark? Answer, mongoose. Because, you know. Cedric's up there. Might know where we can find some Ostmark. Whether or not we decide to engage the Kayran in a way which will require an antidote, I think it's probably a handy thing to have. Of course, as we know, Witcher potions aren't really good for non-witchers, so it limits its applications, but...
Cedric, I need some ostmerk. It's a rare variety of moss, grows underground.
I know it. There are some caves to the south, deep in the woods. If ostmerk grows anywhere in the area, it will be there.
Boom. We're gonna sell some drowner brains. Because those things get heavy real quick. Really, Cedric? You can wait your turn. Let's see. The Kayran, a matter of price. Sorceresses never do anything out of the kindness of their hearts for this simple reason that they have stones instead of hearts. Sela said she had enough of talking and wouldn't lift a finger against the monster until the price of the contract was set. The artless witcher would never have thought to do things that way, but since a sorceress lifting her finger can be mighty helpful in any situation, particularly ones that involve killing huge monsters, our hero went to haggle with the merchants at the harbor. And so we shall. Into town we go.
Something's troubling me.
Let's hear it.
What does a bloody whip?
Are they up here? No, they won't be. They'd be down here.
I think the stew's ready.
What do you want?
Heard you have a problem.
Ah, if only we had just one. Highways washed out, forests full of bandits, a river beast blocks the port, and tolls that arise.
Can't help with the tolls, but the monster's a possibility.
A sorceress said the same, but we've yet to see any results.
She's asked me to work with her.
And who's to pay your wage?
That's what I'm here to discuss.
The sorceress was to manage alone. You can split that reward if you wish.
Well, we're managing it together now, so as I see it, you should double the reward.
You jest!
Have it your way. But if the sorceress fails, you'll be stuck here with your goods till winter. Your losses would be far higher than the cost of hiring me. See you.
Wait a minute there. No need to get cross. Time is coin. I understand that very well. If your participation will expedite the matter, so be it. We'll add 2 fistfuls of orums, though our pouches will be empty.
It's a deal. Now tell me what you know about the beast.
You're the Witcher, damn it! I've no knowledge of these things.
Who could tell me more?
That ploughing elf, Cedric, most probably. He's supposed to know all about monsters. Now leave me be.
Why, artist at work.
He's like a cat.
You might want to stir it.
I don't stir. I work the material.
It's a very chef thing to say. Where does that leave us in the matter of price? I guess that's pretty well resolved at the moment. Passing along the waterfront, the Witcher approached a merchant who was willing to pay for the beast to be slain. Geralt never liked haggling, but he did it often on account of his profession, so we managed to agree on a good price. There's no other thing to work on just now, so we'll come back to that. couple things to do by evening, but in the meantime, it might behoove us to look into thinning the herd of Nekkers.
I'm thirsty, damn it.
Plenty of time for the rest once night falls. Can we go downriver? We sure can. Looks like we've hit a dead end early, though. Maybe this will be useful later. Halfway here.
I've got to blow up this nest.
We're gonna need some bombs for this.
Got to blow up this nest.
Do I need to throw the bomb at it manually? That is the question.
Got to blow up this nest.
Yes, Carol, we get it. Well, it doesn't appear to have had the desired effect now, does it? Oh dear.
Damn monsters.
Necker, eyes, heart, claws, and teeth.
Got to blow up this nest.
Well, guess we'll need a different kind of bomb for the job.
Got to blow up this
Igni
nest.
doesn't do the job either. Do we know any other bomb recipes? Let's see. No, we don't appear to. So if we're going to destroy Nekker nests, then it seems first we'll have to learn how to blow them up. So we'll search for an alchemist in town for a recipe for something with a bit more punch to it. Oh, hello. A wild nope has appeared. Ouch, 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 ouch. lot? I have no idea. Oh dear, okay. That's a lot of Endregas.
Kill him!
And bandits now? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh my goodness. That's tough. No, thank you. Don't want any of what you're selling, thanks. Italian's humming. Oh, that's a lot of damage. So much damage. Oh no! And Nekkers. Don't get your Nekkers in a twist. Do we regenerate health at any point? Or have anything that will allow us to do that? That sure would be handy. Potions, which you must meditate to use. We've got traps, books, trophies, mutagens, alchemy, crafting, diagrams, lures, quest items, and junk. So no, there really isn't like a health potion per se. Six experience points. See, once you're out of combat, you'll rapidly regenerate health. Well, we were heading to town anyway before we got so rudely interrupted. So the blacksmith is along the alleyway here. Start there, I suppose.
So,
More runes, blades, swords, daggers. Yeah, that's about what you'd expect.
Mind if I have a look at your books?
take your time. No hurry.
Let's see. Crafting diagrams. Just books. Books and only books. Drowners. Witchers. Rot Fiends. Kayran. Huntar Valley. Nothing in here about Endrega. So we'll circle back to that.
It's not too late to repent.
So how's it going, dear?
Greetings. Mind if I take a look at what you have in stock?
Certainly. You're welcome to. I'm Fioravanti, a merchant. Not to be nosy, but weren't you hired to kill the Kayran? I've had my fill of this place, and I'll be glad when the blockade is finally lifted.
The Rita won't let you traders out until it suits him. Seems he needs you here for some reason.
What's that supposed to mean, damn it? Is he organizing some international trade fair? I'm a subject of King Demavend, and I tell you...
Demavend's dead.
Ah.
Now, if you don't mind, can we get down to business?
My good man, have you a recipe for a more effective explosive? Certainly doesn't seem that way.
Youngsters screaming in daytime, the old man.
I know
This
your kind.
Welcome to my modest shop.
What do you do?
All kinds of insects from it.
And yet no one seems to have a recipe.
He sweats, he bleeds. But we eat spuds too.
Food items are just considered junk. On earth would you buy them for then? Oh boy, swanky.
Left hook! Watch out for the left hook!
You likewise only sell food.
Left hook! Watch out for the left hook!
There's a man to acquire bombs around here.
Regards.
I don't want to wait all the way to midnight. I guess it's already dusk, however, so.
A fine mess you have here. Dwarves stealing bread from the mouths of honest craftsmen. Elves wandering among decent folk.
The Commandant will deal with them just as soon as he's dealt with the Scoia'tael.
Laredo catch you.
Well, I had an inkling and it didn't disappoint me. It was a long voyage to this cesspit, but it's about to make sense. Voltest's killer, live and in person. How are you? Happy and healthy?
Can't complain.
I am delighted, really. But you see, it's a long way back to Vasima, and I'd rather not dawdle. I lost a load of time looking for you.
No reason to waste any more talking then. Bon voyage.
Listen, Jester. You're worth more to me alive, but if need be, I will take you back as a corpse. You choose.
All right. Give it a shot.
Drop your sword and put your hands together, or I'll not vouch for what...
Shut up. Go ahead. Try to kill me.
Don't back! We've got a wanted man here. Grab him, boys. No need to fear those witches' tricks. I've got a turtle stone.
Hey, dust!
Trying to remember which button is.
He's worth a bundle. Don't fuck this up. We've got a wanted man here. Grab him, boys.
That's unwelcome distraction.
I tell him, I'm taking your pouch.
I think the stew's ready.
What about this fellow? This dust. This is one leather, oil, more leather. Natty a sign of any explosives. It's a nice armor though.
Quiet woman. Artist at work.
I might want to stir it.
I don't stir.
The poor ones are always uppity.
He's good. Hello?
Just wander around picking everything up. It doesn't appear to be considered stealing. Well, that's a bit silly. I guess that's one way to make money. Just take everything that isn't bolted down.
That prick Laredo turned his nose.
Alright, let's see now. Fight Club happens at night. Troll Trouble is for later. Endrega contract will have to wait since the bookstore doesn't seem to have any information on them. The Nekker contract, we know that we need to destroy the nests, but we don't seem to have anything that will allow us to do that. Claws of Madness requires traipsing about in the forest. We're working on the Kayran. And a decent proposal requires it to be nighttime.
You think he was faulted in among his lessons?
They pinch my ass and don't even leave a tip.
Ah, damn it. The moral downfall embodied.
I think perhaps what we'll do then is we will set the journey for Laredo's proposal, and we'll just go visit him at midnight. Assuming it's not already late enough to go visit.
I
which I'm
always say
assuming,
this, and I'll say it again.
We know.
Laredo wanted to see me.
We should
Commandant's
commandeer
busy.
a barge and
Come back
sail to
after dusk.
Vizima.
Nothing left for us here. There we'll have a new life, new opportunities.
I miss the old turf.
Here, we're our own. In the capital, who knows what we'd be?
There we go.
What?
The Commandant wanted to see me.
Leave your weapon here.
Guard it with care. It's very valuable.
Wait, Wolf. I need to talk to the Commandant too. You going inside or not? Listen, friend. I'm an officer and you're a runt. And when I say jump, you will not only...
Come on, Roach.
With these cunts, Laredo couldn't protect the port from a drunk lumberjack, let alone Yorveth.
He's succeeded so far.
A ballista. The bastard's got a ballista. You know the power of this weapon. Its arms strengthened with bronze plates and strung with horsehair. It can propel heavy bolts up to a mile away.
Yeah, an experienced crew can release 2 bolts each minute, but it can't hit the same spot twice because it recoils and shifts. I've heard that somewhere before.
Where did you learn about ballistae?
I knew someone who knew a bit about them.
Unimportant. We need to damage it if we don't want to be at Laredo's mercy. They're all drunk here now. I'll provoke the guard.
Relax, Roach. I don't want to fight this rabble again.
As long as that weapon's operational, no one will sail this section of the Pontar without Laredo's express permission.
I'll handle this. Go have a drink.
We've been here 30 seconds, and Roche is just like, hey, yo, we should sabotage this dude's ballista. And I'm like, I haven't even talked to the guy yet.
Don't you traipse around here. Don't you
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true.
You know this one. A little elf was skipping down the path. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Along came a dwarf and kicked him in the arse. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Oh, you arse fuck, dirty rotten scum. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Do that again, and I'll fuck your mum. Plough them all.
Sniffing
You've had your
around
song.
like dogs in a
Care for
rubbish
some
dump.
real diversion?
What you want, old man?
I was looking to test my strength. Arm wrestling.
What do I stand to gain?
Nothing, because I'll thrash you.
And if I win?
You'll have beat a Witcher, so I guess that gets you bragging rights.
Are you that Geralt fella? The Grey Wolf? All right. Let's begin.
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true.
You know this one. A little elf was skipping down the path. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Along came a dwarf and kicked him in the arse. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Oh, you arse fuck, dirty rotten scum. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all.
Wrecked.
Do that again, and I'll fuck.
Damn the dogs! The old man got me. I need to eat. Build up a bit.
You've had your song.
They
Care for
say
some
witches
real
have no need
diversion?
to plough. Did you know that? They say witches have no need to plough. Did you know that?
Nothing better than a fireside feast.
Except a fireside feast with copious amounts of liquor.
Add plough into the mix and it doesn't get any better.
Luckily, the Commandant's
True. Come here, lass. Your uncle's got a story for you.
So long as he can afford to tell it. I'll not
This
let
guy's
him
very
in
drunk.
here for
Huh?
less than 10 orange.
Just beat him up, take his clothes, and use that somehow, perhaps.
Don't you traipse around here.
Don't tell me what to do.
Don't you traipse around here.
Haven't had this good a time in
Sniffing
ages.
around like dogs
That's
in a
true.
rubbish dump.
You know this one. A little elf was skipping down the path. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Along came a dwarf.
What do you need, ugly?
I wanted to surprise my friend, the sad-looking guy by the ballista.
Some idiot wanted me to read him poems recently. Extravagance, as I say it. I didn't like it.
I was thinking of something a little more traditional.
What would you have me do?
Just go with your specialty.
All right, it'll be my standard rate.
Draw him away from the ballista while you're at it.
Slap me hard and call me stupid. Trying to put one by me? That'll cost you more.
How's that?
Surcharge on special requests. Those are the rules.
Let me think it over. A favor for a favor?
There is one thing you could do for me.
And that is?
Myron and Alphonse, two of Laredo's thugs. Give him a good thrashing, and I'll even blow...
I stirred up enough trouble as it is during the execution.
No need to stir trouble. Just humiliate them some ways.
Consider it done. Myron and Alphonse.
Teach them a lesson yet?
Not just yet.
You've had your song. Care for some real diversion?
See if we can find a Myron and an Alphonse.
I don't like freaks.
And I don't like oafish no-necks.
What do you want, mutant?
To try my luck. Arm wrestling.
I'm gonna crush you, mutant.
Save the boasting till later. Let's do this.
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true. You know this one. A little elf was skipping down the path. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Along came a dwarf and kicked him in the arse. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all. Oh, you
Really
are
tired of
fat,
that guy
dirty, rotten
singing.
scum.
All that
Plough 'em
singing.
all, plough 'em all. Do that again, and I'll fuck him up.
I hate mutants like you.
I know.
You've had your song. Care for some real diversion?
Margarita.
Myron and Alphonse.
Teach them a lesson yet?
Of course.
All right. I'm off to give the boys some diversion.
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true. You know this one.
I
A
don't do
little elf was
anything.
skipping down the path. Plough 'em all, plough 'em
Before
all.
I have to listen to this refrain a
Dwarf
single
and
more
kicked him in
time.
the arse. Plough 'em all, plough 'em all.
Care for a little
Oh, you are
diversion,
fat, dirty,
brave
rotten
one?
scum.
I'm
Plough
on
'em all,
duty.
plough 'em all.
Oh, come
Do that
on.
again,
Your
and I'll fuck
comrades
him
are
up.
well at it, having their
Plough
fun.
them
Why should you be any
all.
worse?
You've had your
You're
song.
right. Let's
Care
go.
for some real diversion?
Sabotage the ballista. Moving on.
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true. You know this one.
Ballista's decommissioned.
Perfect. Let's go see Laredo.
Oh, you are fat, dirty, rotten scum.
Laredo's busy with that witch Sheila. Come back later.
Geralt, let's wait downstairs in the yard.
You've had your song. Care for some real diversion?
Yes?
Do we wait until the Honorable Lady is done with the Venerable Hick?
Waste of time. Looks like a good number of Flotsam's town watchmen are here. We should look around. Did you see that arbalist behind the house? I'll get his attention. Give him something to think about. Why don't you find out what they're guarding so closely?
My apologies, gentlemen. I could not help overhearing your conversation.
What do you want?
In point of fact, it's a matter for the Witcher. I have an offer.
An offer? Interesting.
I suspect you did not come to Flotsam for pleasure alone.
You suspect right.
Do you know about the monster in the river?
Might have heard something.
I expect someone will hire you to deal with it sooner or later. Thus, I presume that...
Stop presuming, expecting, and concluding. Just tell me what you want.
Our honored host is in possession of part of a trap, built especially for the beast in question.
Go on.
Around back, there's a storage area where Laredo keeps the treasures he confiscates from merchants and travelers. There are heaps of things out there.
Let me guess. You know exactly where I need to look.
Precisely. I saw Laredo's men carrying the contraption across the garden in a crate. They placed it on a platform by the wall, beyond which lies the craftsman's district.
Why are you telling me?
Why? We need to be rid of the beast as soon as possible. Good luck.
All right. I'll distract the guard. You sneak behind the house.
Brilliant as ever.
Nothing better than a fireside feast.
Except a fireside feast with copious amounts of liquor.
Soldier, report to me immediately.
Plough into the mix and it doesn't get any better. Luckily, the commandant's provided it all. True. What do you want?
we save here? We can save here. Can we just, ka-dunk. I'm glad the torch went out so we don't have a fire to deal with.
In Flotsam.
I was looking for the...
You're lucky the common...
Commandant, sir. We called the...
No, we want to load from here. Ka-thunk. Yeah, done. Ka-thunk. You're also done. Save there. Locked. But then who has the key? What? Can't perform signs. Have no weapons to interact with. Don't appear to have a key at my disposal. Got a glowing bucket to do goodness knows what with. Not glowing anymore. Oh, I see. We want to look through the windows.
Marietta.
Too focused on trying to get through the door. Whoops. It's the other side of that first door. Got some more guards to navigate around. Thunk. Thought this would be a lot better guarded. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Okay. I'm glad that worked out. Sleep tight. All kinds of goodies, my goodness.
You forget who you're dealing with, Commandant.
You must think me an idiot.
I cannot help myself. You take guardsmen off the streets to guard carpets, fabrics, and spices pilfered from merchants. Do you have any grasp of the responsibility that rests with you?
Don't teach an old man to piss, sorceress. I've ruled Flotsam for years.
Flotsam is ruled by a fear of Yorveth. That fear rules even you.
I've made my demands perfectly clear.
Like a crying babe deprived of its rattle. In time, Commandant, they'll hang you by the neck from a roadside tree like a regular bandit. And rightly so, for you're no better.
Your time will come too, sorceress. They'll pile kindling at your feet.
Enough. Fear has confused you. Think over what I said and give your answer before it's too late.
So that's the quick way back to the front. Got anything else that needs our attention here? Oh right, there was a way down. But it's locked, of course. Might as well go back and see Roche.
Didn't like him from the start.
Laredo's storing valuable gifts from the merchants right here. He may be expecting Yorvith to attack. I overheard the Commandant talking to Sheila. I couldn't pinpoint the topic of their conversation, but it seems to me he's angling for something.
We'll see what he has to say.
They say witches have no need to plough. Did you know that?
We have a skill point to spend. Let's see here. Oh, I guess we have to actually unlock all of the abilities here first. Okay. And now the paths have opened up for us. Perfect.
Go in. They await you.
Where are we to go? I'd hardly call this a hut.
You, sir, cannot enter. We've been ordered to let in the Witcher, but no one else.
Son of a bitch. Fine. He wants to play hard, we'll play hard.
I don't want any trouble. I'll call for support.
No need. Tell Laredo I got the message.
See you, Roach.
Haven't had this good a time in ages.
That's true. You know this one. A little help for skipping down the path.
No passage.
All right.
Here to see the Commandant.
We have business to discuss.
Good luck. He's in a foul mood.
Why?
We'll talk another time, and definitely elsewhere.
Entry only on the Commandant's express orders. Off you go.
Finally!
They didn't want to let me in while the sorceress was here.
Did you see her? Made up like a whore on parade day. They think they can do anything, those sorceresses. I heard what happened in Temeria. You know your name's on a warrant. It's unfortunate, though nothing that should impede our dealings. See, I'm the law round here, and the law needs to know what the legendary White Wolf's doing in this cesspit.
I'm looking for the man responsible for Foltest's death.
Here?
I know the Scoia'tael had a hand in it too. It's their trail I followed to Flotsam.
Lucky you found Bernard Laredo then. If you're telling the truth, Yorveth's got raw blood on his hands. I can help you find him.
What about Vernon Roach? Why didn't you let him in?
Roach? Know the aura that surrounds him? Men like him act first and think later. And when they act, almost inevitably innocent blood flows. I trust you're on our side.
Whose side is that?
That of the people of Flotsam, of course. Terrorized by the elven bandits for years now.
A local conflict, none of my business.
You killed some elves on the riverbank outside Flotsam.
We were attacked.
You failed to understand.
It's you who doesn't understand, Laredo. To tell you the truth, I'm not human.
You an elf? A dwarf? No, talking bollocks. I piss on the fact that they call you freak for your white hair and glowing eyes. You're a human like any other. We're fighting a war. And you, my friend, cannot straddle the fence.
What about the elves and dwarves in the trading post? The smiths, peddlers, and hunters? They eat with you, sleep among you. Whose side are they on?
Hell if I know. That's my point, Witcher. When you fight for survival, you need to be sure who your friends are. The non-humans in Flotsam, sure, they eat, fuck, shit among us. But when Yorveth sounds the battle horns, who knows what they'll do.
I'm surprised they haven't turned on you already.
How so?
The town guards treat non-humans like shit. Frankly, I don't know what keeps them here.
I'll tell you what, Geralt. The hunger they'd face in the forest. But I grant you, those acts of, insubordination need to be stopped. Soldiers are simple men. When you see your mate die, a Scoia'tael arrow in his throat, it's hard to look favourably at the elf who sells your wife coloured kerchiefs. You're a witcher. Your job is to protect the simpletons from monsters. I protect them from the danger that lurks amongst the trees.
I see where this is going.
Yorveth's no better than a monster that attacks those who go out to gather kindling. Matter of fact, he's worse. He's smarter and crueler.
How do we get him?
I don't want you to kill him. Even you don't have a hope against his entire force. I've an idea, but I'd rather not go into it now. The squirrels are up to something. Every night their scouts come closer. I suspect they plan to attack the barge moored in the port.
What's on the barge?
You mean who? Bandits, murderers, rapists. On their way to the dungeons at Drakenborg. As soon as...
Their infamous leader joins them. The cherry on the cake, and Bernard Laredo's crown trophy.
Couldn't have put it better myself. As long as Yorveth remains free, humans, elves, and dwarfs will live alongside each other in deep distrust. I've got to learn what the pointy-eared rat is planning.
How am I supposed to get that information?
You underestimate me, Witcher. True, I have my prejudices, but I'm not blinded by them. Take your friend Zoltan, for instance. He contacted Yorveth.
How can Zoltan help if he can't go outside the walls?
Step by step, Geralt. That's how you build trust.
You could start by tending to a problem we have. A beast. The Kayran has blocked all boat traffic. I'm losing tolls. That is, the trading post is losing revenue. Kill the Kayran and I'll declare your friends acquitted of their crimes.
Then Zoltan can take you to see Yorveth.
I'm a Witcher. I don't work for free.
Of course you don't. Help us capture the Scoia'tael commander, and you'll be rewarded generously. Straight from the trading post's treasury.
I'll see what I can find out.
You stir up storms wherever you go. I actually believe you'll bring peace to Flotsam. Don't disappoint this town, Geralt. Farewell.
Who's a white-haired filly? Oh? Sorry. Don't forget your blade.
Re-equip those weapons before we forget about it here. Perfect. All right. The plot thickens with Laredo, the law, as it passes for in this town, trying to get the Witcher to tackle the Scoia'tael problem and capture Yorveth, their leader. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for tonight for this episode of Kai Plays The Witcher 2. We'll be back next Thursday with episode 5. A little bit of stuff on the side in the meantime that we're going to do off-screen, just some loot management, things of that nature, a little bit of research as needed so that we've got a little bit more meat to next week's content. If this is your first time tuning in with us, we do this every week. We actually have 2 segments that we do weekly, and we are doing this to support nonprofits in the real world. We have a link available for our Tiltify underneath the live stream for those who are following along, and on YouTube, after the fact, it will be in the description below. As I mentioned at the top of the segment, all November we are supporting the Native American Rights Fund, that's NARF, to support Indigenous peoples in their push for equality. If you have questions about that, you can find information on our Tiltify. You can find information below for our social media platforms, including our Discord if you'd like to pay us a visit. And until next time, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal. This is Kai signing off, and we'll see you on Sunday.